If you don't know what you want to do, like especially if you're straight out of high school, welcome to the club. You're like 90% of the rest of the world, all right? Career test, do it, whatever those things are. If you don't know what you want to do, your full-time job is to find out what you want to do. Mine came up with military, paramilitary, police, photography, youth work. I wrote those 5 things down on my vision board. My full-time job became, I need to try some of these out. So I applied to the military, applied to the police, applied to photography places and sales places and youth work places. And the best thing about doing that is I found out real quick, I almost let fate decide. I had a plan, but mine was a lifetime plan. So like, I'm going to do each one of these careers in my life. But guess who was the only people that came back to me? The military. So then I didn't need to choose. And so a lot of young people, they put so much pressure on themselves to find out what you want to do in life and that you have to do it right now. Your average person changes careers 7 times in their entire lifetime. So what's one of the best things you can do? Figure out what you want, write down some things, do a career test and write each one of those out and put that down on a piece of paper. You might find out, like me, that you don't want to choose a career, but you want to design a life. And that is the 21st century dream. I like speaking, but guess what? It's one of the worst full-time jobs in your entire life. It is up and down. There's school holidays, there's COVID, there's so many things and reasons the school can shut down. You don't want your income to be based off that. So what do? I started business because I love business. And then 2 to 3 times a week these days, I'll go down and speak somewhere. I'll go to my office and do an online video. I love it. It's a passion. So school doesn't teach this. They don't say, hey, you can do a 40-hour-a-week job and another 40-hour-a-week job and another hobby 2-3 times a week. You're the person that has to figure out, what are my passions? How much do I like doing this? And I figured it out with me when I left the military and I started doing night school, and I really found out that, man, I love selling during the day, doing night school at night, and every second week I'd actually went to the territorials and started doing every second week in the military. And I had this balance of my life that was a representation of who I was. I'm like, yeah, I'm sort of like 20% military and 50% business and 30% youth speaker. And that is when you're at the most passionate. And I tell you what, I had so many people say to me, you work too much. And I didn't feel like it was work. I went from one thing I loved to another thing I loved and gave enough time between them to make it feel like it was different. And a lot of people say all a holiday is a different change of scenery. I felt like that. I loved shooting targets and throwing grenades. It's probably not the best thing to say, but I loved it. Made some of my best friends there. I loved business and working with some of the, I was lucky enough to work for a fantastic company. I learned all their systems and I spent 2 years there, and the whole time I was there, all I was thinking about was, I'm gonna do this, but for myself. I'm gonna work for one of the best people in the field for 2 straight years, learn all their systems and strategies, and at night time I'm gonna write down how I would do it when I leave. And when I left, I had this amazing business plan. I knew all the softwares, all the strategies, all the marketing things. And I moved to Australia, ended up becoming what I was here from New Zealand. And honestly, if you want to get a leg up in this world, you figure out what you want to do, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You figure out what you want to do.